Hi, and welcome back to our series about how to get kids to eat healthy and healthier foods. And in today's episode, we're actually going to talk about high fiber add-ins. So foods that you could add to your diet that are really easy to add into and that are just high in fiber, and that's going to ward off constipation and really keep everything nice and healthy inside. Make sure if you have any questions about constipation or high fiber foods, make sure you ask them in the comments below. And we have tons of recipes that will have links in the description of the video. So be sure to check those out, because fiber is one of those foods that if you don't go in with intention to eat it, it's really hard to eat. Most processed foods these days are very, very low in fiber. So you really have to go in with a lot of intention and say, hey, I want to eat these foods. I need to eat them for gut health and for mood. You know, it stabilizes your mood. High fiber foods, it helps ward off constipation. So it really has tons and tons of benefits. And you'll see that in our article series on feedingmykid.com. So make sure you check that out. We actually cover how high fiber foods, they help with academic achievement. So it keeps kids concentrated for longer at school. It wards off tantrums. So make sure they're all evidence-based articles. And one of the really interesting things that are happening in research and scientific discovery right now is that they're finding that our gut, our intestine, is where almost 80 or more % of our immunity comes from. So if we don't have a healthy intestine, we're not gonna be healthy. So gut health is so incredibly important. And let's go through some of the different foods that I feed my family and we eat regularly. So these aren't foods that I've seen at the store. We eat them, my twins eat them. So I really do wanna cover them with all of you guys. So let's get started. These are golden berries. And if you've never heard of them, I didn't. They actually are kind of tart, like a cranberry. I still eat these, and I give these to my kids instead of raisins. So they have, tons of micronutrients and great in fiber. So I like to use these instead of raisins. So the next one is, these are chia seeds. So something interesting about chia seeds, and I didn't quite know this right when I got them, is that you need to soak them in water for about 5 to 15 minutes. They get absorbed better. And they make it almost like a chia pudding, so you'll see recipes for that. But chia seeds are great. You could sprinkle them on yogurt, you could sprinkle them on salads, you could put them in a banana bread or anything that you're making, and it ups the nutritional value. So make sure you stock up on your chia seeds. They're awesome. Prunes, right? So I actually have to buy these, buy like packages of 12 to get them organic. So all of these are available off our site and in the links below. So if you don't know where to get them from, we have links of where you can buy them. But these prunes are organic, and they're fabulous. One thing, especially if you're making baby food or anything else, is to get an immersion blender, right? These things are just amazing. They're super easy. All you do is throw some prunes in a bowl and then blend them up, and you have prune puree. So really easy baby food. So if your baby is constipated, takes seconds, you fixed it, it's easy. I also use prunes in place of sugar in my baking, so it's a great sugar substitute along with dates, and dates are really healthy. But these tiger nuts, they come in, they're like little balls. These are actually sliced, so they're a brand new thing. They're amazing. They have 10 grams of fiber. It's insane. What has 10 grams of fiber? So I just give them to the kids as a snack. I pop them in my mouth and just continue on with my day. And you actually can get it in a tiger nut flour. So I'll throw this into pancakes. I throw this into, let's see what else I do. Any kind of baked goods. So if I do make I make muffins, but I make them with oatmeal flour. So I don't actually use all-purpose flour. I use oatmeal flour where I can, and then throw a little tiger nut flour. It doesn't work exactly like flour, so if you just throw it into something else, it's super easy. But 10 grams of fiber, so it is pretty amazing. The next one are just kind of dried fruits and fruit itself. So I don't have any fruit here, just because I wanted to show you, different types of fibrous foods that you might not be aware of, but obviously avocado, apples, prunes, plums. We have a whole list of tons of fruits and vegetables have fiber in them. So the more that you can get your kids to eat them, and on feedingmykid.com, we have whole sections of the site dedicated how to get your kids to eat more fruits and vegetables. So make sure you subscribe to our Feeding My Kid channel on YouTube and follow our articles, because we really cover that. We want kids to want to eat more fruits and vegetables, and we have whole strategies to try at home to get them to eat better. So dried apricots are a good one. Flaxseed is a great one. So you want to make sure it's milled and not like the whole seed, because your body can't really digest the whole seed. So if you bought it as a seed, just use like a coffee grinder after you clean it out and then mill it yourself, and then you can go ahead and use it. But flaxseed has insoluble and soluble fiber. It's super easy. When I make rolled oats in the morning, just oatmeal for my kids, I throw in a couple tablespoons of flaxseed and some cinnamon, and boom, that's their breakfast. So not only do they get it from the rolled oats, but they also get it from the flaxseed. So they're more than okay when it comes to fiber. These are really cool. These are just edamame packages, and you could actually give your kids just edamame. So last night for dinner they had edamame, but these are just packaged on-the-go snacks. I'm not sure if you guys, and I'm sorry I didn't keep the original packaging that this was in, so because I put everything in these little Tupperwares, but this is garbanzo flour, and it's just made out of the beans, and I use this in replace of different kinds of flours, or I'll do a half-half split of flours. And it's garbanzo beans, so it's beans, right? So if you haven't explored these different alternative flours, they're super cool. There's sweet potato flours, there's almond meal. We often use almond meal to replace the flour. So there's just a ton of them. So make sure you check those out. Give them a try in your family. Those are all ways to up your fiber intake. Some other fiber choices are sprouted breads. If you've never heard of them, Ezekiel is one type of brand, and there's different ones, and these are organic. They're sprouted grains. So sprouted food is incredibly high in fiber and very nutritious. So if you're gonna splurge, I would say try to find sprouted food if you can. There'll be sprouted seeds, there'll be sprouted nuts occasionally, and sprouted grains. So here's another one that's sprouted. It is, try to get these for you. I have these sprouted lentils and sprouted mung beans. All right, full disclosure, my kids won't eat these. So I eat them, but what I'm thinking of is trying them out in different purees and kind of mixing it into the food. So just something to know, that whenever you mix your food and hide your food into your kids, serve this alongside. So make sure you still boil these, and you give them a little bit on their plates so they get familiar with looking at them and seeing them often. And then you could still hide this. So maybe you want to throw this in a lasagna, anything where the puree can kind of get absorbed in a casserole. But I just tried these the other day with them, and my kids won't eat anything with beans. So it's a work in progress. I keep offering it to them, and one day they'll thank me for when they love beans and they eat them. So yeah, if you're looking at me thinking my kids eat everything, they're toddlers and they sure don't. So every day it's a new adventure. I try offering them foods. If I make, let's say I made a cup of these and it was a lot, I just freeze the rest, and then maybe every few weeks I'll take out a little, unfreeze it, and then offer it to them, so I don't have to go remake it and have a lot of waste in food. So it's a really good way that I save money and still am able to offer my twins a lot of variety without a lot of food waste. So your freezer should be your best friend, and whenever they don't eat something, go ahead and freeze it and offer it, in smaller pieces, so you can just unfreeze each one. If you unfreeze some food and they don't eat it, you have to throw it away, or you eat it, obviously. That's what I do. But don't refreeze food if they don't eat it, because that could build up bacteria, and it just changes the composition of the food. So just unfreeze it once and eat it within usually 24 to 48 hours. But if you can't do that, you'll have to throw it away or just eat it yourself. So something completely tangent, but something really important. Dates are amazing to use in replace the sugar, date paste. So I often use these, and I will throw these in some pancakes and things like that, and I never add sugar to anything. I just use these. And lo and behold, they have 2 grams of dietary fiber. So love that. I did mention too, rolled oats. These are organic, but you could buy the non-organic too. Instead of any kind of sugary cereal, instead of any of that stuff. So in our other video, we talked about how sugar is a constipator, so it actually will constipate your children by eating it, right? And then it also really messes with their mood, because the high sugary cereal gets absorbed really fast, and then they crash, and then they're irritable. So feed them a very high fiber diet, and you'll actually see their mood change. Their ability to concentrate in school is gonna get better, and they're just gonna be a better person. And they're gonna be healthier, which is really what we're going for. We all love our kids so much, and we just want what's best for them. So that's where all this is coming from. Rolled oats, super easy. You could do them the night before in the fridge, so mornings can be really hectic for a lot of families. This is a really easy way. Just do some rolled oats, throw some fruit in there, some dates if you need a little extra sweetness in there, and boom, you're on your way, and they're filled with tons of fiber. And then I actually add flaxseed to them just to add a little extra, because who doesn't need more fiber? I buy this mega bag of peas from Costco, and they're organic, and they have a tremendous amount of fiber in them for what they are. And like I said, fruits and vegetables, so we really want to go for those. I give these to my kids frozen. I give them to them crunchy, and we have some recipes on the site for how to get crunchy peas. I give them to them cooked. So peas are a big part of our lives. As I mentioned, so is edamame, and broccoli. Those are all great foods that are going to really help up the fiber intake of your kids' diets, and voila, they're going to be a lot less constipated and happier. So something else, another fiber food that is pumpkin seeds. They're also called pepitas. I think that's how you call it. So my kids eat seeds and nuts as snacks all the time. They're really high in fiber. They can be high in calories too, so watch that you don't, even yourself eat 30 cashews, because they're higher in saturated fat. But as a snack, you eat a couple and it keeps you going for the rest of the day. So really try to give your kids a lot of seeds and a lot of nuts as snacks, and try to avoid all those foods like the goldfish crackers and Ritz crackers, and really a lot of things go for foods that come from the ground. So fruits, vegetables, seeds, and nuts are really some of your best foods that you could be offering your kids. Include like lean proteins like chicken and turkey and eggs, and different kinds of fish. So just be careful of the mercury content of the fish that you're offering. But I just wanted to give you that, really aim for a lot of seeds and nuts and fruit and vegetables in your kids. And if you're not sure how to get your kids to eat more fruits and vegetables, well, I'm glad you said that, because feedingmykid.com is the perfect resource to check out, because all it is a whole site dedicated to helping parents get their kids to eat a larger variety of fruits and vegetables. So definitely check out those articles, check out our videos, check out our posts on social media. We're here to help. We want your kids to eat healthier and to really create lifelong habits of healthy eating. So make sure you keep doing that, and feed your kids those seeds and nuts as snacks, instead of anything that's processed in a package, even though this is also in a package. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. And stay tuned and make sure you subscribe to our future videos, as we really want to help your kids eat better, help take the stress out of mealtime for you. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, and we have a new Facebook group, so join that, and you could actually ask more questions that way. And visit feedingmykid.com for tons and tons of recipes and article ideas. So we look forward to the next one, and thanks for joining today. Oh, and don't forget to pin us on Pinterest. We have amazing, all of our stuff is on Pinterest. So I think we have like 10,000 pins of healthy meals for kids. So make sure you follow us on Pinterest too. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.